Okay, let's see. Okay, so just figuring out a few gremlins. Okay, so we've got Martin S is our driver of the day from the previous race. I'm taking a little bit of a shortcut here. Yeah, but he got himself into some trouble earlier in the season with the FIA. Picked up a few penalty points and a qualifying ban, but bounced back from that with an amazing drive in the last Grand Prix. Came from last, and I believe he finished in fourth. So yeah, apologies for the audio issues there. A little bit of a gremlin in the system, but it should be all rectified now. So let me know how the audio is, guys, if the levels are fine, if you can hear me okay, or if the in-game volume's alright. So yep, Martin S, driver to watch today. He will not have any restrictions in qualifying, so he should be able to go flat out for it, and we'll see what he can do in his new Mercedes. Already got a yellow flag in sector 3. Looks like pretty much all but 3 are out on hot laps at the moment. Our Martin S is on his hot lap. We're right on board with him as he opens up DRS in the long back straight. And braking point there just at the 100-meter board. And the fourth and the third. Taking as much curb as possible there. Should have got away with that. Should have got away with that. Unfortunately, we do not see if the lap is invalidated for a driver, but a great corner here, a very fast flowing corner. Just feed the car in, use the engine braking over to the right hand side and just wait for the braking point, the turning point, and then back on the throttle. Gets it a little bit scruffy on the exit there, back onto the throttle, and another long left-hander. You just had to find the right point to brake there and turn in and back onto the start finish straight. We got Don Alexi put a 130.7. Martin S, despite this little bit of a scruffy hot lap, he puts a 129, so that's the first 129 on the board at this time, 129.4, and we will have a look and see. My apologies. Marcel CS puts in the 129.4. He goes top of the leaderboard. So Martin S is actually in second. We got Martin G in third. So top 3 familiar names at the top there. Fox in fourth over 130. 0.6. You got Don Alexis being shoved down to 5th. It looks like he's still on a lap here as he enters sector 3. You see these corners, long flowing corners. Engine braking is a must on this circuit. This last corner, you want to get down to 3rd, maybe 2nd gear, just get that turn in. And then back on the throttle, open up the DRS, and let's see what Don Alexi can improve. He does not. He stays 5th on softs. He's a top soft runner at this time. We got a Lancer on Ultras. He's a 131.1. Let's have a look at guys who have not set laps. So we've got John McClane here. He had a quad race last time. Kept himself out of trouble and picked up a few points. He's wanting to build on that today, I'm sure. And nice and tidy, nice exit there. Looked like he got on the throttle nicely. It's a short straight here. A fast right-hander. He can take him flat out. Okay, we may have an issue. I just saw the migrating host error message pop up. We've got Rufo has left the race. Wow 125 has left the session also. I do not like the look of this. I know that the F1 game has some issues when the host leaves. Okay, it looks like we're doing a session restart. So apologies folks, there's a few technical issues affecting the race today. So we'd like to apologize for that, but we will get right back to it as soon as possible. But we can look at this qualifying session that's about to be abandoned, and we can see already Marcel CSGO 129.4. He is fastest at the moment. The only guy that was able to put a 129 on the board. So we're just waiting to see what's actually going to happen right now. There's quite a number of guys still in session, so again, apologies to anyone listening at this time. We will get this issue fixed straight away. Danny Tart's out of the session. Hopefully I will get a invite to the new lobby. We can start afresh, which should be interesting. I mean, there is the chance of rain. I mean, we didn't get rain in this qualifying session, but it's entirely possible with this restart that we may actually get rain in the qualifying. Looks like Keeper Magnussen has not got the memo. He's still out on track at the moment. If anyone in chat is able to just give me a heads up of what's going on, if you need me to do anything, or otherwise I'll just wait for a invite to the new session. Keeper Magson's out. So it looks like I may actually be the last person in this session. So let me see if I can get into the new session. So okay, there we go. Okay, that should fix the issues. So yeah, a bit of a false start there, but hopefully we can get this session underway ASAP. I just hope whoever's hosting is able to change it from Australia to France. We know that Australia was last week, and hopefully you saw that race because it was highly entertaining. There was plenty of action on track. We even, I believe, had a safety car, which is a rarity these days, but yep. So session has been changed. We're going to France. Thankfully, that was spotted before the session was started. So I did a few practice laps on this circuit myself, and yeah, it's a very it's a very interesting track. I have to admit I did not like it at first. I use cockpit view, and that first corner is a nightmare to get right, especially if the sun is lying low. It gets in your eyes, and it's hard to spot the the correct turn-in point and apex, but just practice. I believe we've got a full lobby, so we should be ready to go anytime soon. See, the drivers are readying up. Let's go, fellas. It's worth noting that you see the settings there that the league is using. So you park Fermi rules on, corner cutting stringency on strict, which, as I said already, is going to have an impact on this race. I believe it is. It's notorious because of the massive runoff areas. It's notorious for just easily picking up penalties left, right, and center. Really practice. Those who've practiced hard on this circuit, I believe they will shine when it comes to that, as a lot of it is just muscle memory and just knowing exactly what the track limits are. So we got this session start in 10 seconds. So let's go. We've got actually 22 in the lobby, which is interesting. So we've actually got 2 spectators. I got Frankie joining me as a spectator. So let's go at Paul Ricard, SOR Season 8, Race 4. So I'll keep an eye on Marcel if he's able to match his 129.4 from the previous session. And if any drivers in chat want to give me a weather report, that would be most awesome. Otherwise, I will not know, but usually you can tell quite easily just from the kind of, if it's overcast, it kind of would suggest that there may be rain at some point. Let's see if we get rain in the qualifying session. No, it looks like it's going to be a dry one, so welcome back to qualifying point 2. I am going to wait for Marcel to come out of the pit. I want to see if he can match his pace from the previous attempt at qualifying. He set a 129, the only driver to do so. Oh, I'm just getting reports that there will be rain at the end of the race, which is awesome. That should make things very interesting. That's a lot to take in there. I mean, the drivers will be aware that there will be rain most likely at the end of a session, so it'd be interesting to see what's going on in the garages right now. What kind of setups are drivers going to go for? Because once they leave the pit for the first time, they will be locked into that setup. They'll only be able to change differential and front wing. So I imagine most guys are going to just lock into a dry setup, seeing as the rain is at the end of the race, and obviously you want to get a good qualifying run under your belt. Marcel. There we go. Okay. So Marcel is on an outlap. And taking a few shortcuts here. I have to say I'm not a big fan of this kind of driving. Yeah, I know it's just a qualifying session and he's on an outlap, but it could potentially cause issues for other drivers. Can be kind of distracting as well, and it just kind of looks a bit weird. But anyway, Marcel is about to start his hot lap for this session. He's got a driver ahead of him. I wonder if he'll hang back a little bit, just create a little bit of space. Yeah, I've got a few people, a few drivers just lining up to start their hot lap here, so Marcel is backing off, just keeping the tires warm, and he is go for his hot lap as he crosses the start finish line. And the break point there is just between the two curbs on the right. Yeah, ideally you want to hit the curb on the left and the right and use as much of the track as possible. Braking point for this next corner is just before the 50-meter board. Just kiss the apex and then hug the curb on the left. Take a late apex. You can run a little bit wide onto that outside curb, and he loses it a little bit. It looks like he got a bit distracted there by the car on track. I'm not sure who that was. I believe it was Wessel. But Marcel unfortunately had to back out of that hot lap attempt. Now will we see him pit, or will we see him push on for another lap? He is slowing down quite considerably here. We've got yellow flags in sector 2 and 3. So already a bit of a chaotic one, as we see Lancer going 130.5. Take the top of the leaderboard. Yoko in second with 131. So we know Marcel's got a 129.5. He's capable of 129.5. So really, I want to see if he can match that again. Yeah, he's choosing to pit. I suspected he may do so, do that, because if he was to push on to a hot lap, and these tires have already seen 3 laps by that point, and he would be, if he was unable to better that in the session, he would actually have to start on that. Pixel Master picks up a 5 place grid penalty for collision with Danny Tard, who is actually out of the race. Wessel. That is interesting. Wessel, we know he left the okay, the car's now been removed. No, Wessel's car is still on track. And Danny Tard then was unfortunately not sure exactly what went on there, but I know that that's had an impact on quite a number of guys' race already, or should I say qualifying runs. And so Marcel get it quite wrong there as he came upon Wessel. So that car has now been removed. We're still in yellows in sector 2 and sector 3. And let's have a look at the top of the board. Marcin S has set himself a 132 flat. So let's see what tires they were. Soft tires. So a few guys are trying different strategies at the minute. You got a Lancer on ultra soft, super soft for Games Mirror with a 130.9, which is quite a good lap actually for super soft. Then Pixel on ultra soft with a 131 flat, followed closely by Yoko with super soft 141.75. Number of cars coming out of the pits at the minute. Let's see if Marcel is one of them. Yep, we have Marcel out on track. He's on an out lap at the moment, so hopefully he can get through this lap unimpeded. We want to see what he has in the bag. The Lancer currently top dog with 130.5, but I believe that will change as the session goes on, with just under 11 minutes left and quite a number of drivers yet to set a time. Only 9 drivers with times on the board at this time, which is quite unusual. As we once again see Marcel slow down here as he approaches the final corner and back onto the throttle, activate DRS, and we're on to start finish once again. Deja vu for Marcel as he has yet to set a time. Ruffle as well, yet to set a time, so Ruffle's still in the pits actually, so he's not. Yeah, he's either sandbagging or he's got something up his sleeve here, you know. Which Marcel running wide on that outside corner again. I believe that still within the track, yeah. Should be still on a valid lap. He approaches this chicane. Watch out for the brake point at the from the 100-meter board. Down to fourth. Back into third, and then up for the gears. Get as much curb on the exit as possible. As slow in, fast out is a mantra for this track. And it's fast right-hander, you can take it flat out. Just have to be very smooth on the steering. And just before the 50-meter board, just want to dab on the brakes and use that engine braking. Cut across to the right-hand side and just lit apex here. Gets on the much better than the previous hot lap attempt, so Marcel is looking good for this hot lap. He's on ultra soft. I very much expect him to go across the line and take the first position here, but let's see. Yes, Marcel is a 1.9, so just slightly slower than the initial qualifying session. He's a 1.9.616, and wow, 125, he's got himself up to third. So the top three are Marcel, Lenser, and Wow, with Marcel the only driver yet to get into the 129s. Now, Ruffle is still in the pits. That is very interesting. And I believe we've got a Ferrari exiting the pits now. Could that be Martin G? Sorry, could that be Fox? And the second Ferrari. I'm seeing some action in the Mercedes pit garage. It's Don Alexi comes in for a pit. So no real change at the top there, but we do have a number of drivers out on track. Ruffle, I wonder, is he serving a qualifying ban? That very well may be the case. And Martin G as well. Yet to get a time on the board. So we're right on board with him as he's on soft, so he's going opting for a different strategy than most of the drivers. Obviously ultra soft is the fastest tire for this circuit, but strategies, starting on soft would definitely be a bit of an advantage as they head into the latter parts of the race. So I believe soft to super soft one stop is quite possible for this track. If you're starting on ultra soft, I'm not quite sure. We'll find out in the race obviously, but going from soft to ultra soft as a one stop strategy could be a bit tricky, but we have to factor in as well that there is going to be rain at the end of this race, so that final stint will maybe be in intermediates. And this is where the uncertainty comes in, and this is why I like a bit of interchangeable weather. It just throws in like, yeah, we don't know if the guys are going to have to pit again, or if they're able to stay out on the tires, on the dry tires, or if they're going to have to pit for intermediates. Sometimes you get the rain and the DRS is deactivated about only a few laps before the end, and it's a big gamble. Do you pit and put on inters, and obviously you're going to have a bit more control over the car and less risk of putting it into the wall, or do you stay out on dries in wet weather conditions, which is super risky, but you don't lose time in the pit stop. And Going to be very interesting indeed. Martin G has got himself up to 130.8, which takes him up to 6th position. Marson S, actually, we missed that one, but Marson S has got himself into second, so he's a second driver with 129.9, so he'd be very happy. And amazingly, that was on super soft tires. Yep, so he set that time on super soft tires, so I wonder if he's just going to be happy enough with that. Is he going to pit and just sit on that? Because that's a very fast time in those super softs, and he should start towards the front end of the grid. And we've got Rufel 44 is actually on his outlap at this time, so let's see if we can check him with him. He's going into sector 3, which has yellow flags at the moment. Sector 1 yellow flags. Nicely taken, very smooth. Early on the throttle. And a little bit scruffy there on the fast left-hander, but back on the start-finish straight. And Rufel is on his hot lap. Let's see what he's got here. Oh, he takes a lot of curb on the left-hand side. That's great. On the right, it looked like he backed off on the throttle a little bit there. And actually, I wonder, did he back off on the? Did he back off altogether there? Actually, he didn't seem to be pushing too hard, but maintaining his smoothness. Marcel CS with a 129 flat, so he's went on the ultras and just blitzed that lap, so he goes top of the field, cements his position in first there. Marson in second, yeah, so as expected, Rufel has backed off in this lap, so interesting. It is quite possible that Rufel has got a qualifying ban, but has maybe just put a little wear on the tires there, just get a bit of experience on the track, just give himself a bit of a warm-up. Time will tell, but it's only an explanation I can see for him not actually setting a time in this lap, and there's only 2 minutes 45 seconds to go. Marson S has actually retired, so he's happy enough with that 129.9. Let's see if anyone else can actually better that lap. We've got a few guys out on track at this time. Rufel looks like he's back on it, so maybe he is actually setting the lap, so this will be his last attempt on a hot lap, I believe. I mean, he could go on and do another one, but let's see what he's got in the tank. He's very fast, Rufel, as we know. He's at the top of the standings. Wendy 301 puts a 129.1 on super sauce, so is only 0.1 second off Marcel, who set that time on ultra sauce. So it's looking good at the top. It looks like Pixel Master cuts the track there, just cuts in front of Rufel, but backs off, thankfully. Allows Rufel to get on with his hot lap unimpeded. Very smooth as we're going to this fast right-hander. Just feeding the car in, getting on the throttle as early as possible, kiss the apex, use a little bit of the runoff area there, the curb on the side. Oh, just trying to get the nose turned in smoothly as possible. Rufel is about to go across the start finish line. What time is it? He's at 129.3, so the top 4 guys all managing 129s, and make that 5 as Martin G joins the top boys on a 129.7. 45 seconds left, so let's see who else we got out on track at this time. like there was a little bit of a collision going on the right hand side there. I'm not sure what was going on there. We're on board with Pixel at this time. Pixel is currently 6th, but he's put on those ultra soft fresh set. Can he better his time of 1:30.1? Don Alexi retires, and he's qualified down in 14th on soft, so not a great qualifying session from him by any stretch of the imagination. No change to the top either. Martin G still on those super sauce. As we see Pixel up in DRS to cross the finish line, and Pixel is unable to improve on his 1:30.135. And who else have we got out on track? We have a Lensar who's been pushed down to 9th. He's on ultra soft, so he is capable of actually putting us in the top of the grid somewhere. Let's see what he's got in the bag. It looks good so far. He runs out quite far to the left there to get a nice feed into the corner. Again, on as wide as possible. Trying to kiss that apex. Gets a little bit loose there on the edge. Back on the throttle, and I'm feeding it into the left here. Engine braking all the way down to 3rd, 2nd, and Valencia goes into 1st. Back on the throttle massively. Cross start finish, and we got another 1:29 in the bag. Valencia puts himself in the 5th position, so we got 1st to 6th covered by 1 second, all able to put 1:29s on the board. But what is interesting is, out of those 6 drivers, 4 are on super softs, 2 are on ultras. So that mixes it up quite nicely. I'm going to have to keep an eye on that as best I can. But I believe the super soft guys are going to have that advantage in that they can go much longer. Whereas the ultra soft guys, hopefully we'll see them very pacey at the beginning. But as the race goes on, I reckon around about 5 laps in and onwards, they're going to struggle somewhat with their tires. And just 2 seconds between 1st and 13th. So a lot of very fast guys in there. I saw some of the fast guys from the previous races not doing too well. Placed at the back of the grid, but this is F1, this is motor racing, anything can happen, as we all well know. You start to see that overcast weather. Some lady in the the audience there, why she got her hood up if she's inside? Or is that her hair? No, that's her hood. And she's just randomly clapping. That must be the clapping room, where you just go and randomly clap. Anyway, sorry, I have to entertain myself here as the game loads up. We're just waiting on a few drivers connecting, and it looks like we are ready to go for a formation lap. And look at those skies in the background. That looks like a broody storm coming in. In fact, it looks a little bit moist already. And yes, I did just use the word moist. And I wonder if all drivers will be able to successfully navigate a formation lap without being disqualified. I'm willing to put money on it. No, but let's see. I may well be surprised. But this is shaping up to be very exciting. I mean, look at the guys we've got on the top of the board there. Marcel, Windy, Martin G, Rufel, Alencer, Marson S, Pixel, T-Zebro, Doughmaster, Wall 125, even the list goes on. Keyboard Magnuson. I mean, these are all very, very fast guys. We've seen them all in action, and we know they are all very pacey. And Don Alexi in 14th. A few other drivers worth mentioning would be Autistic Doggo. We saw he is very, very experienced, very fast driver. He did not actually set a time, so interesting to note whether a few drivers were serving qualifying bans. Would very much explain that. We will maybe get an update after the race about that. But those drivers, we're going to try and keep an eye on those. So there's going to be the front of the field is where our focus will be for now, but we're going to keep an eye on that. We've got Doggo, Danny Tard, John McLean, Fox, Don Alexi, all fast guys, and all going to want to put, yeah, as I said, Yoko, Gamesmer, two drivers there. It actually looks like Yoko is his car smoking at the back there, so I wonder if there's any mechanical issues, or maybe that could be water vapor. As the drivers line up on the grid to start the Grand Prix, we're just waiting for the final cars to form up. And then we'll be underway for the French Grand Prix, Paul Ricard circuit. We've got 4 red lights, 5 red lights, and they are off. Marcel gets a good start. We've got Wendy beside. Yep, Wendy is right beside him. Oh, it looks like Marcel had a lag spike, and Wendy has taken the position. So let's keep an eye on the positions. Martin G is gone up to 3rd, so he's taking position from Ruffel. Marcin S is up to 5th. Swap positions with a Lancer. Looks like a clean getaway so far for the guys. A lot of position changes there, but we will have a look at that later on in the race. I just want to keep up with the leader. Wendy is pulling out a lead already, a 0.7 already. And Marcel, yeah, it looked like he had a lag spike or screen freeze or some kind of connection issue that it just pushed his car back, so that is unfortunate by no fault of his own. He is in 2nd position, and Marcin has, well, it looks like Marcin, yeah, desync. So we're already seeing our fair share of bugs in this game, as Marcin and a Lancer are joined at the hip. Actually, whoa. That looked kind of freaky, but yeah, those two drivers are probably not seeing each other on track, or they're definitely not seeing what we're seeing right now, so thankfully there's no issues there, as Marcin is in 5th currently, going by our screen. And let's have a look what's happening down the field. We've got Foxes up to 13th, he's taking position from Pixel, and Wessel is about to get lynched. He is in 16th, but it looks like John McLean and Wow125 right behind him. John Wow125, he's dropped quite a number of positions, so let's see. Position change. Yeah, Wow125 comes out as the biggest loser there. He's dropped 8 positions. And we've already got some guys in pits. So we've got Danny, no, this is Doggo in the pits. Danny Tard is not actually in this Grand Prix. Fox picks up a free 2nd time penalty, so already there's time penalties coming through. Wow, 125. He's got his work cut out from him at the back, but let's go at the front, see what's happening. We've got Wendy with Marcel right behind, but we have Martin G, teammate off Marcel. He's keeping Marcel honest, and he's going around the outside of this fast right-hander. No contact, a nice move there. Don't know if that was team orders or if Marcel just let him pass. It looks like Marcel moved over for Ruffel as well there. Yep, Ruffel takes a position. Oh, and Marcel runs off wide a little bit, but somehow he maintains the position of Ruffel. I don't know if that's going to be something the FIA want to look at afterwards. That was a bit of an unusual overtake there. Oh, and it looks like I don't know if Marcel actually let Ruffle pass there, but whatever's happened, Marcin has made the most of it. He's up to, was up to 4th. Will with Marcel, and a Lancer dives through. He gets himself up to 4th. He takes 2 positions in 1 corner. What a move from Lancer. And these guys are very, very tight together. Even TZ Bro behind. He's also waiting to pounce. Just waiting for the guys in front to make a mistake. So Marcel is down to 5th. We've got Ruffle is now in 3rd. And the Lancer in 4th in the Renault. Oh. TZ Bro. Looks like a little bit of a lag issue there. Keeper Magnussen is also behind these guys. A Lancer drops a few positions here. So what's happening? Marcin has taken 5th position back. And Lancer's dropped 2 positions. Once again, we're seeing Marcin S and Lancer's cars almost co-joined at the hip. Marcin looks like he has that 5th position still, but we are not sure how they're going to come out of this final 2 corners. Who will have the position? We do not know, but Wendy is up front. He's got a 1.8 gap. And Don Alexi is up to 8th. He has come out of nowhere. He's made up 6 positions. Oh, and we have contact. It looks like a Lancer and TZ Bro. Oh, that is unfortunate. So that great move from a Lancer on a last lap where he took 2 positions. It was actually the same, I believe it was around about the same corner. Unfortunate for him, he drops down. He's into 18th for effectively the last position almost. That is not good. Hopefully the guys can keep it clean from here on in. Lancer gets a 5-second stop-go penalty. Marcin picks up a 3-second time penalty. This is going to be huge. Marcin, we know, has been very tardy in Australia and was part of the fact that he did not get any time penalties. And on lap 4, he has already picked up a 3-second time penalty. Not seeing any more time penalties from the front guys, but Marcin S almost forces Marcel wide. Oh, and also Don Alexi looks like he wants to capitalize on the situation as well. He keeps it tight there, but it's too wide as they go through into the final 2 corners. Marcel S able to keep the inside, but Don Alexi worked out nicely for him. He's got the inside corner here. Oh, there's contact, and they're neck and neck as he... Oh, I wonder who's got DRS. It looks like both cars actually have DRS. Who's going to make it for this first corner? Marcel S squeezes in front of Don Alexi, and it just managed to keep ahead of Marcin S. Or sorry, Marcel. Oh, and this is interesting. We've got a ghosted car. Don Alexi's car is ghosted. What is going on here? A lot of time penalties coming in here. I can't even keep my eyes off the action here, so oblivious to those time penalties at this time. But Don Alexi is up to 5th. So both Mercedes guys, 4th and 5th currently, and Don Alexi's closing in on Marcin S now. So I wonder if team orders will come into effect. It's Don Alexi. Yep, it looks like he's got a better exit there. Marcin S not putting up too much of a fight here. This would be disastrous if these guys were to take each other out, but we see it must... Yeah, it must be... it's a strategy play there. Don Alexi's clearly the faster of the 2 at this point in the Grand Prix, so Marcin S lets him by. Marcin S is getting a little bit looser on the exit. I wonder what that was all about. Looks like he's struggling a little bit with those tires. And it's only lap 6. This tire should last a good bit longer. As Marcel is into the pits. Yeah, so he's an ultra soft guy. And only managed 5 laps. And he is dropped down to 17th. So it's not working out for him at this time. He puts on super sauce, so I reckon he's maybe considering a two-stop strategy at this point. There's 21 laps left in this race. And Windy 301 he's out in front. Martin G is keeping that gap to 1.8, but Windy just looks like he has control at this time on the race. Rufo as well is in third position, 2.4 back, so he's able to keep him honest, but I've got to change of position for Fox TZ Bro. Oh, and Yoko squeezes through, a bit of a cheeky one, and then backs off. I'm not sure what exactly happened there. Oh, Yoko going around the outside, a little bit of a daring move. Car looks a little bit unstable there. See Wessel in the background, he's also making a position. He's right up beside his teammate TZ Bro now. So Yoko is doing okay, he's in the 11th position, he's on no super sauce. Not doing too badly. Well, I think he actually has some time penalties, so he's going to want to get a move on and try and negate some of those, or he will drop down the order. It was at the checker flag, keeper Magnussen, 3-second time penalty. It's not going to help him at all, as we see Games Mirror is right behind keeper Magnussen at this time, and this is an ideal point for him to be right behind keeper Magnussen as they come out onto the DRS zone. DRS zone, you see the board there, so he's activated DRS. And you see him closing up. Will he have enough time? He goes in the inside of the 100-meter board. He wants to put the brakes on. It's going to be tight, but he takes a position. Nicely done. He blocks keeper Magnussen's exit, so he just had to back off a little bit. Games Mirror, nice driving there as he moves up into 6th position. And TZ Bro, looks like he's dropping back. Wessel, his teammate, is taking 12th. And even Wow 125 is able to squeeze past him now. Wow 125 looks pretty pacey. He's on those soft tires, so he's wanting to go long on these tires. Takes a lot of curb there. Might have picked up a warning for that, as he has got Yoko in his sights. Excuse me. He's closing up big time on Yoko. Yoko on those super sauce, but Wow 125 is getting better performance from these softs at this point in the race. No sign of rain yet though. Oh, Yoko. Oh, that looked like a screen freeze or lag spike or some kind of technical issue. And Wow 125 was lucky that he wasn't right behind Yoko, or he might have inadvertently picked up some damage. As Martin G sets the fastest lap of the session. Oh wow, 125 there. You see him cut that apex massively and paid the price, 3-second time penalty. So that will put him off his game. Marcel is down in 16th. That is not good. And Lancer, so we see some of the top guys at the back of the field, Lancer and Marcel. I mean, there's a long way to go yet, but they had a terrible start to the race, involved in those incidents, which has cost them a lot of points. Sorry, a lot of time and positions. And Wessel is right behind Yoko. Yoko runs wide. Oh, and Wessel gets contact on the back from his teammate TZ Bro. TZ Bro giving his teammate a hard time now. He's on the back out of that a little bit. He's TZ Bro, he's getting frustrated here, held up by both his teammate and Yoko. Both Wessel and TZ Bro should have DRS activated, but it's not enough. It's not enough to make a position. So let's have a look at John McClane. Now he's another driver I didn't expect to see so far back, but it's possible this is not one of his favourite tracks. Although he tends to be a bit of a dark horse in races. You don't see or hear much from him, but he just manages to pick up a handful of points each time. Lancer, I think that's the second time penalty I've seen for him in as many laps. So as predicted, time penalty galore. There's Yoko gets another time penalty. And we may well see some disqualifications for time penalties in this race. I believe the maximum time penalty you can get is around like 30 seconds. So that is going to be very interesting indeed. And if we move up the order, we see Gamesmer is closing in on the back of Marson S. Both on exactly the same tire. Oh, I thought yep, I see Rain. This is quite early in the race, so you got lap 10 out of 27, and I'm already seeing rain coming down. It's still light at this time, but you can see the clouds are just looking real menacing in the background. Just ready to unleash a downpour, which is just going to cause chaos in this race as Gamesmer closes up even further on Marson S. And he's in the perfect position here as Marson S just gets a bit loose on the exit of that corner. His car is, yeah, it looks like the track is getting a bit wet already, as this is going to be quite easy. Marson S just pulls over to the left hand side, and Gamesmer is able to take position, but gets a little bit looser on the exit. Both cars are side by side as they come out of the exit. Who can get the better exit? Who can go earlier on the throttle? It looks like Marson S is the winner for now, but oh, you do not want to pick up a bit of contact on that corner. That will unsettle the car and undoubtedly cause the car to go straight off track. Quite likely there's good racing here, but Lancer is retired from this session, so he's out. That is unfortunate, as Wendy 301 is in the pits already. He is going for intermediates, so he's going for a little bit of a gamble. Rufo decides to stay out. This is so interesting. I mean, Wendy was in the lead. He had 2-second gap, but he is gambled massively there. So we're gonna wait and see. A lot of drivers actually pitting now for intermediates, but there is quite a number of drivers still out on track. Rufo is the front runner at this time on the Super Sauce. So you can see how slowly he has to get on the throttle, just feather the throttle, especially on these exits onto the long straight. It's he's not losing too much time here, I would say. But it's quite a technical track, and you add rain and it makes some of these corners almost impossible. You can see just on the exit there that he just almost lost the car. That the back wheel is just not able to get the traction that they're accustomed to. Rufo is able to navigate this lap, but it looks like it may cost him some time as he runs wide. He's able to keep control of the car back onto the track, and he is almost certainly going to want to pit. The rain is still coming down, but it's still very light, so it's hard to tell whether Rufo's roll of the dice will pay off. I mean, we've got Wendy is closing in massively behind him. He's already 14 seconds behind him, and this pit is going to be about 20 seconds plus as we see Rufo. Yes, Rufo's decided to pit. So Wendy, I don't think that is going to pay off, that gamble of Rufo's. Wendy is going to take back that first position. Yep. And Rufo is still in the pits, so I think Rufo lost out massively there. He's actually Yes, he's dropped the position. He's come out in... See, yeah, he's come out in fourth. He's actually dropped the position with that gamble, so not too bad. It wasn't a disaster. Maybe worth rolling the dice there. Bit of a brave move, didn't pay off, but you have to try these things, eh? I think the rain's getting a little bit heavier. DRS is still open, I believe. It's still active in this session. See, Ruffle's still getting a bit loose there on the exit of that corner. Oh yeah, you can see the rain coming down a lot heavier now, so Don Alexi just back end getting a bit loose there, but he's got it under control. So let's do a recap of the race. We got Wendy in first. He was able to take the first position by the first corner. Unfortunately, Marcel had a bit of a lag issue. Marcel then had contact, a bit of an incident in the early laps of the race, and was back into 18th position at one point, but has managed to get himself back up into 11th and almost into the points. Don Alexi is... Yeah, he started qualifying and he qualified 14th position. He's now into second positions, which is extraordinary. As we see Martin G. Quite close. Oh, we've got Gamesmer has had it off. He's lost a few positions there. Marson has able to make a position, and Domaster. Oh, and Marson S and Keyboard Magnuson. I'm not sure what happened there. It looked like Keyboard Magnuson's had an issue somewhere, but Marson S takes the position. Keyboard Magnuson is fighting back. Thinks about going for the inside, but decides against it. These drivers just have to be super cautious on the accelerator. Just watch those curbs, as they can be mighty slippy at this point of the race. And they're only going to get slipperier as more rain comes. And it looks like DRS may actually be deactivated, so I may have missed that. Fox picks up a time penalty. This is the closest battle on track at the minute. Oh, as I say that, there's a change of position in the back of the field. Marcel was in 11th position, but he's really struggling in these wet conditions at this time. Yeah, he's had an issue, so he's going. And we see Wessel go really wide there. He's picked up a 3-second time penalty. Oh, he's all over the track, using all the track and more. Oh! Did we see a brake check there? If so, that is very intriguing. Very intriguing. These cars are going very slow. I wonder, is there a virtual safety car at this time? I don't believe so. Yeah, Wessel's just retired, so Marcel S is struggling massively. It's going so slow that I actually thought a virtual safety car was activated, but Yoko joins Wessel as a retiree, so we've got Doggo, Alenser, Yoko, and Wessel all out of the Grand Prix. Wendy is just in a league of his own at the minute. He's almost 10 seconds ahead of second position Don Alexi in the Mercedes. Ruffle is hanging on to Don Alexi, 2.5 behind, closing in a little bit, and likewise Martin G is hanging on to the back of Ruffle. So this race isn't over yet. We're just past the halfway point. Martin S has dropped quite a bit back. He's 10 seconds now behind Martin G. We'll keep an eye on that gap, see if he's able to close that down a little bit. And Martin S has been able to shake off Keyboard Magnuson is 6th, so he's built up a bit of a gap there. 2.2, not too bad, not too bad. That's going to take the pressure off Martin a little bit. Now Wall 125 looks like he's, yep, Pixelmeister is retired. Marcel is also retired, so 7 cars out and 13 left in this race. John McLean just having a bit of a quiet one. We've got Fox here is closing up behind TZ Bro. Fox is looking quite pacey on these enters. Sometimes you see the conditions, like wet conditions, favor certain drivers. They just seem to excel. They just seem to tune in a little bit better than other drivers in the wet conditions. Pixelmeister out of the session, so we got, let's say, 13 cars left, and quite big gaps building up here between most of the drivers. I mean, this is the closest battle we have on circuit the minute. Fox is closing up. TZ Bro is in the last points paying position, so this is for points. This TZ Bro is just able to maintain that gap behind. The DRS is not active at this time, so he doesn't have to worry about Fox activating DRS and blitzing past him. This is all race pace at this time. You see TZ Bro got a little bit wide there. Fox able to close up a little bit. He's 0.3 behind at the minute. Gap 0.5. Looks like these guys are similar pace at this time. I think I've said at this time 3 times in the last minute. Frankie has left the session, so not much action to commentate on at this time. Yes, there's number 4. Fox picks up a time penalty, 3 seconds. Martin G also. These time penalties are going to be more affecting the guys at the top. So Martin G's in 4th currently. 3 seconds shouldn't hurt him too much, but we know Martin S kind of keep it pretty clean for the most part. We did see 1 penalty from him as Fox was very wide there on the exit onto the fast straight. Might have picked up a warning for that. Martin S is dropping back a little bit more from Martin G, 11 seconds now. Gamesmer looks to be making some gains on Doughmaster. He's got the gap down to 0.8. And really, in the rain, the drivers are just, I mean, the conditions are so changing right now that each corner you just have to assess it as you come to it almost. So really the drivers are just kind of guessing where their braking points are and hoping that they get their turn-in point right. And there's going to be a lot of sweaty boys out there today. Gimsmer not able to really get that much closer on the Doughmaster. Its gap is around about 0.8, 0.9, and we do have a change position. Fox and TZ Bro. So Fox was able to catch TZ Bro, but Fox unable to pass. Oh, he goes for the inside move. TZ Bro's on the outside. Should be able to get more traction, but Fox has the inside line. Well, let's see what happens here as they go onto the back Back straight, no DRS open at this time, but slipstream is available to Fox. He pulls out and passes. He's got the inside line, so he should look better here for this chicane. Yes, and he takes a position. So nice move there from Fox. Nice driving, good to see. While that was happening, Gamesmere was able to get past Doughmaster, who is now being caught also by Wow125. And up front, we've got Ruffles making gain. He's at like 1.9 behind Don Alexi, so that's another battle worth keeping an eye on. It seems to be matching pace and just chipping away at the gap. So 1.9 the second for Ruffle. This game's mirror has passed Doughmaster and has now got Keeper Magnussen in his sights. Keeper Magnussen, we know his driver is notorious because he uses a keyboard, believe it or not, with no ABS, believe it or not. But he's going to be feeling the heat now. He knows Ginsmer is behind him. He's 2.5. There's another change of position. TZ Bro's actually into the pits. Looked like he's serving a penalty there, but maybe just a bit of a glitch. John McClane then up to 11th. 7 seconds behind Fox. He's in that final points pen position. So John McClane is going to want to put the hammer down here and try to cut that gap down. I don't believe John McClane has any penalties and Fox has a lot, so if John is able to just maintain this gap, he should pick up that last position. Oh, Martin G! Oh, what has happened? Martin G has DNF'd. Oh, I do not know what happened there, but we saw Martin G to the left hand side of the circuit looking rather lost, so he's out of the Grand Prix. So that means Morrison S has moved up to 4th position. Big shock there, We'll hopefully find out what happened after the race to Martin. Oh, we've got a safety car. We have a safety car, so this race actually has had everything. We've had a qualifying restart, safety car, change of weather conditions. Don Alexi disqualified from session, ignoring yellow flag. Oh my word. What is going on? This is chaos. Don Alexi is out of the session. What has happened? The message we got was ignoring yellow flag, but I'm not sure why that would mean he's self-qualified from the session. That is a nightmare. He was in 2nd position. He is out of the race. How unfortunate. We will find out afterwards in the driver debriefing what happened there, but oh my word. Oh my word indeed. So, wow. Ruffle is up to 2nd then. This safety car will mean that all the cars will bunch up and we will be in store for a very exciting end of the race, hopefully. And a number of drivers have chosen the pit, so Wendy and Ruffle are the only 2 of the top 8 who did not pit. Keeper Magnussen, Doughmaster, Ginsmer, Wow125, Martin S and Fox all chose to pit. And it looks like Martin S lost out a few positions there. He was in the 4th at one point. So he's going to be one to make up that time. And Ruffle and Wendy did decide to pit after all. So this should be very, very interesting. I mean, we've got 7 laps remaining. And most of the guys are on fresh air. There's a safety car picking up Wendy 301. So just waiting on the safety car, picking up all the cars. Ruffle is just about to catch the safety car. Hopefully we'll see a safety car in probably next lap. Well, we are in store for an epic finale to the French Grand Prix Paul Ricard. We have had everything: rain, bugs, safety car, unusual disqualifications that we're unable to explain at this time. Keep our Magnussen just come up to the safety car now. So who do we fancy for the restart of this Grand Prix? Obviously Windy is favourite at this time. He has had control of this race from the very get-go, from the very first corner when he overtook Marcel. Marcel has just had a nightmare of a race. He's DNF'd at this time, but we saw he had an incident with, I believe it was a Lancer in the first part of the Grand Prix, but even before that, before turn 1, he was looking good for the lead of the Grand Prix until he had a little bit of a lag spike, screen freeze type issue. Keeper Magnussen is actually up to 3rd position. This is boding well for a podium finish for Keeper Magnussen, which would be huge. The cars are now looking like they've caught up with the safety car. A few cars straggling at the back. Don Alexei has left the session. Would love to know what happened to Don Alexei. Just bear with me a second. Okay, so just having a look in the chat to see if we can get a bit of an insight into what actually has happened. Oh, Pixel at the back of the field losing the car there, so that's going to further delay the restart of this race. He's yet to pick up on the safety car, so still a fair bit back. So let's see now. A Lancer collided with Marcel, he says. Lost 20 seconds, returned to the track. And the game told him that he overtook Marcin illegally and had to return position. At that point, Marcin was desynced for me and 30 seconds behind. So, as I've seen before, bugs can have an effect on a race and unfortunately ruin races. So. And Pixel is holding up the restart of this race. Oh, restart, just that I say that actually is got underway. Ruffle is looking to the inside for turn 1. Wendy looks like he's got it covered off though. Nice racing here from the Force India guys. Ruffle has got a better exit out of the corner 2 though. They think's better off it. Keeper Magnussen in 3rd position, looking feisty, goes down the inside. Oh, nice move on Ruffle. And he's taking the position. Is Ruffle able to get a better exit onto this back straight? He should be able to get some slipstream, but Keeper Magnussen got a great exit himself. Ruffle is closing in a little bit. Keeper Magnussen, looks like he's guarding that inside line, but Ruffle goes and dives in anyway. Keeper Magnussen getting the better turn in. Ruffle just backs out a little bit. So Ruffle will be kicking himself. He's lost position to Keeper Magnussen, who's not even challenging Wendy. Keeper Magnussen getting a really great exit. Wendy going a little bit wide. Oh! And as you can see there, that fast right-hander, you can take it flat out, but if you get the car in any way, there's any rough steering input, the car will lose itself, especially in these wet conditions. And Ruffle will have seen that, and they'll smell weakness. Marston's got himself up to 6th position there. Oh, and as I say that, looks like he's actually making a play for 5th position against Murr. Just comes across again, was able to hold on to that position. And let's have a look up front again, as his racing is very tight here. And I believe the rain is actually, yeah, the rain has eased off, so this track is getting faster each lap. So this is lining up for a very exciting last 4 laps of the race. And Ruffle wants that position back. You can see it gets his turning a little bit wrong. Had to correct it mid-corner, which isn't ideal. And we've seen Keeper Magnussen gets very good exit from corners usually. And this one is the same. He gets a great exit onto the straight there, and Ruffle falls back a little bit. James Mirror right behind Doughmaster. As he moves inside, he's neck and neck. And this is going to be a case of who's more the braver. Oh! Oh, and there's contact there. Doughmaster holds on the position, but that was rough. And Marston is the benefactor there. Yes, Marston up to 5th position, but look how tight this is. This is close racing. You don't want any contact on this fast right-hander, but Marston S is looking down the inside. He squeezes the car, he almost forces his way through. I'm not sure if Doughmaster knew he was even there, but Marston S forces the issue. Marston S following closely behind Doughmaster. James Murray watches on. This is high level stuff right now. The slightest error and it will cost you many positions. These guys are all bunched up due to the safety car. And James Murray not getting the best exit from that corner as Marston S drops back a little back on Doughmaster. We've seen some gaps starting to appear there as Ruffle is ever so tight behind Keeper Magnussen, but is unable to make a stick. Is Keeper Magnussen going to take this 2nd position, keep it? We will just have to wait to see. But the rain again, I said it was easing off, but I actually see a lot of it in the air at the minute. So this track is not drying up. Oh, Ruffle's a bit more, he's a bit closer here. He's got a little bit more top speed than Keeper Magnussen. Keeper Magnussen's on the outside. Will he hold on to that position? He's got the inside line still, which is the favoured line, but Ruffle, look at that. He made it look easy, and this is in wet conditions. Some great driving there from Ruffle. And Keeper Magnussen drops down to 3rd position. Still a podium finish. He just needs to keep it tidy and keep consistent. We've got a freeway battle here with James Mirror, Marston S and Doughmaster. This is battle of the bravest, who breaks the latest, who's got the most grip, who can get the best traction out of the corner. Takes a wide line there. Marston S going onto the curb, car getting a bit unstable, but he managed to hold it. And as we see, Marston S is getting a better run out off that corner. And Ginsmer not able to close up any. Oh, Ginsmer getting it a little bit loose there. That's going to lose him a lot of time. And Marston S is hanging on nicely to the back of Doughmaster. He's got the gap down to 0.3 at this time. At this time, I said it again. Oh, Wendy picks up 3-second time penalty. Oh, that could be huge. I think Wendy had another penalty already. So that could be huge. Because I have not seen Ruffle pick up a penalty as yet, but we will find out when the checker flag hits. Ruffle may well be the winner of the race, just on time penalties. Obviously, Wendy is track leader at this time. But if that is the case, of Wendy's got 2 time penalties, he will be wanting to put the hammer down and build up that time to Ruffle, because at the minute it's 2.7. Oh, as Doughmaster goes very, very wide there and is getting very loose. This is not looking good for Doughmaster. Martin S smells blood. He thinks about going around the outside, but thinks better of it, stays close to the curb, and he's just working on getting a really good exit out of this corner. And both cars actually getting a pretty good exit. Actually look like Doughmaster got the better exit out of the two, but Martin S will gain a little bit from slipstream here, but not enough to make up all that time. And Martin S is just keeping the pressure on. Oh, Martin S picks up a 3-second time penalty. It just shows you how easy that is. Doughmaster going very shallow into that corner, and that's not going to help his exit. Gamesmere again, 3-second time penalty behind. So we're going to have a massive shake up here on the standings as the checker flag hits. But I think Martin S he wants this position on track. To hell with the time penalties. Let's see Martin S take this position. Oh, and TZ Bro. Oh, not TZ Bro. Sorry, my bad. Gamesmere. Oh, I'm with a big accident. Oh, that is huge. Martin S is taken out. Gamesmere, that was very untidy. It looked like he squeezed up the inside. Bit of a dive. Didn't see how far back he dived from, but Martin S is out of the French Grand Prix. So we are down to, I believe, 9 cars on track. So all cars on track currently will finish in position, but Gamesmere and Martin S involved in that incident. One for the FAI, I believe, but that is so unfortunate for both drivers. They were looking well there for for a handful of points. So up front, Wendy is 2.3 ahead of Ruffle. So Ruffle is working on chipping away at that position there. Pixel really struggling right now in these conditions. That is unfortunate. But yeah, he's struggling badly in these conditions. So it's looking likely for a Force India 1-2. This is the final lap of the race. The question is, who will cross the line in first? Wendy will most likely finish in the lead on our screen, but how the time penalties are going to affect the final standings is anybody's guess. Currently 2.2 ahead of his teammate, and we're seeing John McClane is overtaken by WA125, so there's still battles on track. On the final lap, WA125, another 3-second time penalty. We may see him drop down the standings. I believe John McClane may actually benefit quite a lot once he crosses the finish line, as he has either got no time penalties or very little ones. Wendy just nursing around these final corners as he takes the checkered flag in first position. But what we're all looking out for is, does Ruffle swap positions with him with some time penalties? And no. Wendy maintains that first position, so Ruffle in second, Keyboard Magnussen in third, Doughmaster in fourth. No switch in position just yet. T-Zebro fifth now. John McClane 6th, WA125 7th, and rounding up the positions, looks like it's going to be Fox in 8th and Pixel in 9th. So, what a Grand Prix. What a challenging, tough Grand Prix. Credit to the guys who did finish. That was one for the the history books, definitely. Safety car, change of weather condition. I've lost count of many people DNFs, and in the end, time penalties didn't have that much of an impact on the race. I definitely expected Windy to drop down a few positions there, but he did it right. You see Windy in the top step there. Congrats to him. Great race from start to finish. Rufo we takes second. We saw him take a bit of a gamble, stayed out one lap extra on his super sauce, but managed sixth in the end. And third position by the Haas driver, Keyboard Magnussen. So what a Grand Prix, what a Grand Prix. My voice is starting to suffer right now, so that's how you can tell it's a mark of a great Grand Prix. And just want to take in these standings. So Wendy, he's had a bit of a slow start to the season, but he's back in action. He's only picked up a 3-second time penalty, so that's crucial. Yeah, well, when I say we, I mean me. I mistakenly believed he had 6 seconds time penalties, and Rufel had 3 seconds as well. So that's unfortunate. Rufel could have got that win if he didn't have a time penalty. Keeper Magnussen himself taking a 3-second time penalty. 3 drivers not getting any time penalties whatsoever. Credit to them. These were some tough conditions today, so fair play to those guys. And if I was to call a driver of the day, I would say, let's see, well, I'd say any of the top 3 are game for driver of the day, but I'm going to give it to Keeper Magnussen. I mean, he challenged for second position at one point and was looking pretty feisty, but getting that podium in the tough conditions on the keyboard, that was something else to watch. So some great racing there. Yeah, so I think that about does it for now. We will be back next week, and hopefully I'll be joined by my co-commentator Mo to add a bit of color to the commentary. But hopefully, yeah, hopefully that I did okay today on my own. It was a bit tough to follow all the different aspects of the race there. So quite looking forward to Mo joining me again next week. But for all those who watched and listened, thanks very much for joining us. We'll be back next week at the same time. All the best.